Right, so I've got myself a new amp. It's a Headstrong, it's really a deluxe reverb kind of amp. It's Headstrong's version of the Fender Deluxe Reverb, really. 22 watts. I'm gonna try it with this guitar today. So the reason I've got this now is I have a set of lovely amps. My Tweed Deluxe, the Grand Tweed Deluxe, is wonderful. And I have this Dumble clone here, Fuchs or Dumble ODS, 50 watts. Fab. That one is a bit heavy. That one is a bit struggling a bit when the band is playing loud live. It can handle it, but it's up there and there's not much to go on. Yeah, well, it lacks a bit of headroom. As I'm getting to play more live these days, I've been looking for a more versatile and stable amp that I could drag along for all sorts of gigs. And I've been looking for a Fender Deluxe Reverb really for a while. And then this one appeared in my feed of used gear. And I needed to check it out. So you'll get to hear it first up. I haven't turned it on yet, so fingers crossed that it will work. Let's see. I think that it's on and there's a standby also. So I first now go into the input 2 of the normal channel. So input 2 will be 6 dB lower than input 1 for all of these amps that has input 1 and 2. I might end up using the Vibrato channel, but I would like to hear the normal channel first. So first, without any pedals except for the reverb and the slapback delay. So my first reaction to this is that it sounds good. I think perhaps it's a bit cold biased. Could come down to the tubes, to the speaker also. So I am going to test that with the different speaker. But I'd like to see how it handles my pedals now. So nothing. Let's put on the EP booster and the volume on that is set to 0. So it adds a bit of volume even if it's set to 0. Fattens the tone a bit and it also increases the volume slightly, I think. Yeah, but I still think it's a bit cold biased. So now let's add the Sweet Honey Overdrive, which is my always on overdrive. I just control it with my volume on the guitar usually. Once I push that Sweet Honey Overdrive, it warms up. Can you hear that? Without, with. Gain is all the way down. This is much more pleasantly sounding to me. And without, oh, no doubt. It's a bit lower. Let's put a bit gain on. I can learn to live with this. The Ruby Red Rooster is on, in addition to the Sweet Honey Overdrive. And going a bit down on the volume on the guitar. It's getting very close to what I can dig. So yeah, I can see that this amp will be good to bring to a gig. But there's also a thing with the weight. This dumble that I was talking about here, it's not a dumble of course, it's a clone, but it's a bit heavy, at least after I put it into this combo cabinet. And this one is around 16 kilos, so it's not that heavy. This is more than 20, 22 or something like that. So I think they are more or less the same now in weight, so yeah. Let's try the vibrato channel and see how that sounds. Yeah, also input 2. And I like to adjust my EQs like I learned from Matt Schofield. He showed that on a That Pedal Show episode. It just jogs the wheel on each of the EQs, the treble. And he listens in for where it kicks in. Maybe a bit bright. So no pedal is engaged now, so I think it already sounded better than the normal. Let's push the EP booster. I think it could do with a bit of tightening up. I suspect the speaker will be replaced here. Also maybe the tubes will have something to do with it. Without the overdrive engaged, I think it's still a bit harsh in a way in the tone. Let's push the Sweet Honey overdrive. A bit down in volume. Not sure, maybe I prefer that normal channel. Let's test. In fact, I do. Let's see how the ruby red booster alone will push the amp. Yeah. And I can take down a bit of the treble here and add a bit boost. So this amp has something that I haven't heard in my other amps, and it's that the top frequencies has more of a sparkle in a way. And I have to get used to that because I'm more used to a warmer top end on my two other amps that I use. But I would like to test another speaker. So I will hook it up to Cannabis Rex that I have in an extension cabinet here and see how that sounds. But that's a totally different speaker, so let's go. All right, we have sound. This is the Cannabis Rex in that speaker cabinet now. This one is not engaged any longer, so it's just the external speaker. Without any pedals. So I wasn't giving you the full story here because I said I only had the Neunaber Wet as my reverb and my deep blue delay engaged when I had no pedals, but I also have the Supa Trem engaged, but I have it on no effect. It's just that I like the preamp from that one. I can turn it off. You can hear this is without the Supa Trem. And the Supa Trem engaged. Yeah, almost nothing, but there is, it warms up the tone a bit. I like it. But already now I can hear that this speaker is more to my ear, what I like. It has lost that harshness that I thought I felt with that one. And even though it's set a bit lower, so I need to go a bit down to listen at the approximate same height. Yeah, there's no doubt this speaker is so much warmer, and we know that, of course. It's the Cannabis Rex, it's a hemp cone. Let's put on the EP booster again. So what I feel now is really that I have the quality in tone that I have from the Dumble kind of thing, and I also relates to the Tweed Deluxe much more than I did with that speaker that is in here. So it makes me look very positive on this amp now. Let's put on the Sweet Honey Overdrive. This sounds great now. I'm not sure that I will end up with that because my Celestion Blue in the Tweed Deluxe changed everything for me. But I think that the Celestion Blue is not the best match here. But I have this G12 in here, the Celestion, what's it called, Heritage. So I think I'll try that one. Maybe I could hook it up now. Let's do that. Let's try that speaker. Okay, so Celestion G1265 in here. The amp is not on, it's this amp, not this speaker. This amp into that speaker. Okay, just the amp, no pedals except the Supa Trem and what I already have mentioned. Also a totally different feeling than from that internal speaker here. EP booster first. And with the Sweet Honey Overdrive. It has more bass. It's great. That speaker is more powerful, I think. Yeah, it has something extra. I love the Cannabis Rex, but I really want to have it in that extension cabinet. So I'm thinking of putting that speaker now into here, and I will put this amp back into its head cabinet to use it with my Cannabis Rex in the extension cabinet. I think that's the way it will go. So the Celestion G12 will now go into here, and I will also experiment with some tubes to see what that adds. But let's hear with the ruby red booster by itself. Oh yeah. It's very defined also in the lower frequencies, I think. That's just a ruby red booster for you. Without it. The royal blue. And the sweet honey overdrive. I'm very happy with this now. I can see that this is the right amp for me. I will play a gig this Saturday and I will bring it, and maybe I'll be able to get some footage. Hope so. But I think this video will go up before it, and you'll have to watch for that if you care. And I'll just say thanks for watching, and if you have one of these, I hope it's useful to see that what a difference it makes to change the speaker. So I will probably also try to figure out if it can get even better, because I have some lovely tubes here. I have some power tubes, 6v6s. This is Sylvania, and I have some RCA matched pair, and I have some lovely preamp tubes, 12 AX7 tubes. I have a Mullard at least, and a vintage one. So I think that also could add a bit of goodness to the tones. All right, bye for now.